Hello, good morning. My name is Udwa Kamimo, and this is Cheche, the show where opinion counts, live on Citizen TV. Now, over the past 2 weeks, we've focused on the state or spectacle of Kenya's judiciary. You'll remember that we had a commissioner from the Judicial Service Commission, Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, talking about the bitter fallout from the controversial sacking of the former Chief Registrar, Gladys Shollei. Well, today she tells us her side of the story, from the forced leave, investigations into her conduct or misconduct, the JSC says, and the allegations of corruption. She also starts legal proceedings against the JSC this morning. Sharing their opinions will be the Cheche panel of Wawerumburu of Royal Media Services and political analyst David Makali. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll come to your legal to your court case shortly, but your former job has been advertised, yes. But you seem to be refusing to go away quietly. Why?
I don't think I'm refusing to go away quietly. I think what I'm saying is that it is okay to remove me from office, but you must do it following the law and the Constitution. And the Constitution is very clear. Article 236, it says, before any public officer is removed from office, disciplined, demoted, etc., it has to be done under due process. So all I'm saying is, why didn't we follow due process? Especially because we're the judiciary. That is the seat of justice. That if there's any place you should get justice is before the judiciary and the and the Judicial Service Commission. So we said, why didn't we follow due process?
So what
that's
process?
All I asked.
What should have been the process?
The process, first of all, should have been that if there were any allegations of financial impropriety, it should normally come from the Internal Auditor General first, the Kenya National Audit Office, EACC, or the Public Procurement Oversight Authority, not the commissioners getting allegations from people, which they got Mwakenyas, and then used that. And I said, I'm willing to appear before you to be disciplined, but can we get the reports from those various bodies?
Are you saying, Mr. Shollei, that if I caught you stealing, I would still have to go and look for the Ethics and Corruption Commission, the National Audit Office to come and stop you?
No, it's not that.
I'm just saying, for instance.
The point is, I haven't been caught stealing in the first place.
Yes.
Okay? We have, and in any case, the law is clear. So that is one aspect.
Right.
The second aspect, David, is that what should actually happen is that the way I said, I want to appear in public, that is actually allowed under Article 47 and Article 50. Right. I appear in public, I make my presentation and defend myself. The law says I'm entitled to defend myself. It also says I can call witnesses. That's all I ask the JSC. Okay. Allow me to call witnesses. But
let me just, if you don't mind. The idea is that, yes. I'm just saying, as a matter of procedure, okay, that is the laid down procedure ordinarily if there is complicated stuff around your conduct that should result in your dismissal. But if there is graphic evidence that, for example, this is improper and needs no further elaboration, should we go through the whole, ceremonial or, procedures to remove you? I'm just saying.
Okay, let me ask you, David. Suppose you're picked up by the traffic police and they say you committed a traffic offense and they throw you in. Wouldn't you want them to tell you you've committed a traffic offense of obstruction or over speeding so that you're able to explain yourself?
Yes.
Would you like a situation where we're just picked up and thrown to jail without going through due process? So, yes, even if there is graphic evidence, well, let's present it, right. Then I defend myself, then you say, now we have confirmed.
Okay, I'll pick you up on the due process because, of course, we had Mr. Abdullahi here last week, and he said they followed due process. Starting with August, when you were sent on compulsory leave, you complained about that. They retraced their steps to bring everything back into line. Yes. And so now what they argue, what the JSC argues, is that they've concluded their own internal investigations. And when you talk about the Auditor's Office or the EACC, those are external investigators. So they have now handed you over to the external side, but internally, as an institution, they're satisfied that you flouted regulations, that you were found to be insubordinate and various other things. They found, that there was financial impropriety and that they've let you go as a result.
Okay, I think Woodwork, the thing is, I wasn't even heard. Do you know, I did not, I appeared before JSC.
There is a report, a 138-page report, detailing all sorts of allegations against you. There are the JSC's findings. There are also your submissions. I also have a copy of the interim report that you submitted to them. So how can you say that you've not been heard when clearly the allegations were laid out and you had an opportunity to respond?
Okay, this is how it works. I was given allegations by the Judicial Service Commission or questions. I then asked for extension of time at that time because they had given me 21 days. I said, my tender committee needs 21 days to prepare because remember, I don't sit in the tender committee. In fact, by law, I am not liable for anything that is done by the tender committee unless they testify that I interfered. Right. In which case, they were one of my witnesses. The tender committee was going to appear to explain themselves. I don't sit in the tender committee. Why am I being asked to answer to questions that don't actually happen within my desk? So when the tender committee...
Because you're the chief accounting officer, or yes, you were the chief accounting officer.
Yes, but the law is clear that the accounting officer cannot participate in tender. I'm not allowed to be part of it. And the law says that the tender committee members are jointly and severally liable. So what we were saying is that the tender committee was going to appear to explain themselves. They were not allowed to appear. I also asked, because it's one thing to answer questions, but then I needed to call witnesses. I'm entitled to call witnesses. But they didn't let me call the witnesses. It's like going to court and the court says, give us your submissions in writing, go away, and then we're going to announce in the media what the ruling of the court is. That's not how it works. It works is that everybody must have their day to appear, explain yourself. Then they say, okay, these are the witnesses. I'm also allowed to face my accusers and question them, but they're also allowed to question my witnesses. That's all I was asking.
Somebody's like to say that, Gladys, you're sticking on to technicalities, clinging on to technicalities. You don't want us to get into the substance, the meat of the allegations against you. And your claim that you're not given a chance to be heard, you're actually your own, worst enemy in that regard because you obstruct the opportunity to be heard by introducing technical things of, you cannot try me, you cannot hold me here because it can only come through this.
Actually, David, what I'm asking is that I want JSC to rehear me. I'm not saying they should not discipline me.
Right.
I want to be heard. I want to appear before JSC in public. I want my witnesses to appear in public and explain. So I'm actually telling them, let's grind back. Let's do this properly.
But Shollei, we are talking of issues here. I think it has become so personal. There is Shollei, the individual, and the chief registrar. Are you telling us here that there is no corruption in the judiciary just because it has been said it is Shollei? So I thought that you take responsibility for mistakes that happen in your office and not necessarily you as an individual. If JSC is trying to investigate corruption in the judiciary, why would it not be done so smoothly and Shollei allows it to continue and be done?
But remember, if you look at my letters, I'm the one who requested that we have a full hearing.
Right.
I said I want to be heard and I want to appear. I constantly said that. I have not refused to be investigated. In fact, from day one, I said I not only want to be investigated by JSC, but by the other bodies. I have never refused to be investigated. I want to be investigated. I also say, yes, I am responsible if I'm the accounting officer. I take full responsibility. Except that, can we go through the process of explaining? And again, I said, what will happen to our country if every time a public officer is accused, as long as more than 2 people say you're guilty, then you go to jail.
You have just said that judiciary is a seat of justice.
Yes.
If Shollei cannot get justice when she is the chief registrar of the judiciary, how is Wairuburu going to get justice?
You are not. That's why, and that's why for me, this whole issue has 2 aspects. I'm trying to clear my name, that's one. But number 2, we have a responsibility as Kenyans and as a lawyer also, and a former law teacher, that we must make sure the law is followed. What's the point of having the law if we can't follow the law? Especially in the judiciary.
Okay,
that's
fine.
all
so
you're asking. Let's follow the law.
Right. So you've made that clear. You want to be reheard. You want to be reheard in public. So let's get to the specifics of the case that you're starting today. What does it entail?
We are clearly going to say that the JSC did not follow Article 236. It did not follow Article 47. It did not follow Article 50, which clearly says that I am entitled to appear before a panel that is not biased, and I'm allowed to have adequate resources and time to be able to present my case. Even though they didn't give me enough time, I still said it's okay, I'll appear, and I appeared. So that is actually what we are challenging. We're challenging the process. I'm not saying they don't have the power to sack me. They do. But I'm asking that sack me after you have actually confirmed that I'm guilty.
Again, we are still stuck here, Shollei, on 2 things.
Yes.
The technicality of the process and not the substance. Can we speak a little about the substance of the allegations?
Yes, because the thing is, how do you get to the substance if you don't hear the evidence? How do you get to the substance if you don't hear the evidence? Due process allows you to get to the substance. How will you know the substance? Just from someone mentioning it? No. You have to say you are guilty of, there was a loss. show me the loss. And
well, they say they showed you the loss amounting to about 2.2 billion. That was the amount, the entire amount involved. And then direct loss of 1.6 billion.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask a question. We have, if you look at it, is the judiciary budget. I think the amount they're talking about, if that actually was lost, believe me, the 11 courts that were built would not have been built in one financial year, because it means all the entire amount, because the entire amount for development is 2.8 billion. So if that amount was stolen, it means the judiciary should have ground to a halt.
I don't think the point is that the money was stolen. Is that its expenditure is not accountable properly,
yes,
or it was not properly expended. Okay. Perhaps that is the idea.
All right,
there are questions around the expenditure of that
yes.
amount of money.
Okay.
Not that that money was stolen.
Okay, let's put it this way. For example, when you say that security deposits of 6 months was paid, security deposit, anyone who rents a house or any building knows that you have to pay deposit. And deposit ranges from 3 months to even a year. We have several buildings across the country the judiciary was paying for. In one building, we paid 6 months deposit. That is up to the landlord and the negotiation of how much. And that amount is not lost because it's in our asset books as an asset which will be returned to you. So it's not lost money. When you said you paid rent to AFC, Akacho Finance Corporation, and you paid within market rates, is that money lost? No. So actually in my response, I asked them, where is the loss? Because
there are claims that you don't sit in JSC, yet you are paying yourself allowances.
Okay, again, that is very interesting, because in my response, I've clearly said, first of all, I don't request for the payment to be paid for sitting in JSC. That is requested by the Registrar of the Judicial Service Commission. And when she sends it to Finance, she's supposed to attach the sign-in sheet and the minutes of the meeting. Right. When that allegation came up, I wrote to her and I said, kindly give me all the requests you made on my behalf so that I can see if there's any discrepancy. They declined to give it to me. Yeah? But even then, I've done my own reconciliation and given them. There is no, unless I go to a meeting and sit in there, there's no way I can sign the sign-in sheet. So
what are you saying, that was cooked?
Yeah, yes, and it can only be cooked by the registrar because I never request for payment.
So
there is no time I request.
The registrar cooked funds for
Maybe
you.
She did, I don't know.
And paid you, and you accepted the funds without...
No, as far as I'm concerned...
The funds did not come to you?
No, I accept that I received funds for meetings I attended. Okay. If they are saying that I did request for money that I didn't pay, I've never requested. I never requested for payment.
The idea is not, I think, let's get it clear. The idea is not that you requested for it. It's that you received money for sittings you did not attend. Yeah.
But
is that a fact or not?
No.
Whether it was processed by somebody else or on your requisition.
I was never paid for any meeting that I did not attend because I am on the agenda, and I'm also in the attendance.
Okay. We've gone into the specific allegations, but let's just go back to the court case for a minute. What is your best outcome? What do you want from this?
I want to be retried again by JSC and to have a chance to call witnesses.
Do you really, Shollei, think that given an opportunity, you go back to the judiciary and work with the same people?
Okay, that is not something for me to discuss now because I haven't thought that far. Okay. And like at the moment, I said my mind is very focused. It's about clearing my name and having an opportunity to answer to those questions properly with having witnesses present.
So you don't want your job back?
I'm not looking for my job back.
Okay.
I am asking to be retried so that I can clear my name.
Okay.
Yes.
This Dominic,
you can't force people to employ you.
Still on the court case, though, as Waweru asked, you're one person fighting a system that you say has been unfair to you, prejudiced against you right from the very start. Yes. What hope do you have of justice if this is how you've been treated so far? You've been hung out and...
Yes, and you see, for me, I always said that I'll take my chances. I will go to that same system because I have nowhere else to go. Just like every other Kenyan has no other place to go but the court. Once I go there, even if they decide against me, at least there'll be a judgment and history will judge that situation. Let it be in the history books. And one day, history will look at that situation.
Are you fighting the JSC, the Judiciary, or the War Council?
I don't know who I'm fighting. All I know is, and I'm not really fighting, like I said, I'm clearing my name.
For the sake of the institution, you know, surely you may be out, you are already out, but the institution remains. Yes. And I think you have been part of this institution for the time that you have served. It is the best for this, the best interest of, for the best of the interest of this country and all of us, that this institution remains.
Yes.
What is the problem that is ailing the judiciary? Because you have been there.